So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on your brain. We're going to reveal the hidden battles that make new habits feel like such an uphill struggle. And more importantly, we're going to show you how to finally start winning.
I mean, it's a frustratingly common experience, right? You start a new routine, you're full of motivation, and then a few weeks later, you find yourself right back where you started. Why does this happen to pretty much all of us?
Well, here's the good news. It is probably not your fault. Seriously. You're not lazy. You're not undisciplined. You're actually caught in a biological conflict, a real tug of war happening inside your own head. So let's meet the two main players in this battle.
Okay, so to really understand this conflict, we need to meet the two key players. They're a pair of neurotransmitters, and they are constantly pulling you in completely opposite directions. Let's get to know dopamine and serotonin.
The easiest way to think of it is like this. Dopamine is that little voice in your head that's always craving the next thing, the next social media notification, the next goal, the next thrill. Serotonin, on the other hand, is that calm, quiet voice of contentment. It's the one telling you that you're safe, you're stable, and you have everything you need right here, right now.
And this table here, it lays it all out perfectly. Dopamine is all about that short-term motivation. It's the anticipation of a reward. It's basically your brain's gas pedal. Serotonin, though, that gives you long-term satisfaction and emotional stability. It's the brake. Now, a happy life for sure needs both, but our modern world is just constantly slamming that dopamine accelerator to the floor.
Okay, so with that chemical battle in mind, let's dig into the brain's fundamental operating system. Why does your brain seem to actively fight against the positive changes you're trying so hard to make?
Okay, here's the absolute key takeaway. Your brain is fundamentally lazy. And that's by design. It burns a massive 20% of your body's total energy. So its number one job is to save fuel by turning everything into an automatic habit. Relying on willpower, which is handled by the easily drained prefrontal cortex, is like trying to power a whole city with a single AA battery. It's a losing strategy, especially when your brain is hardwired to pick the cake right now over the gym later.
But what if you could work with your brain's programming instead of constantly fighting against it? Well, that is exactly what this toolkit is designed for. These aren't just tips. These are 7 science-backed ways to gently rewire your brain for more happiness.
All right, our first hack is so incredibly simple. Before the chaos of the day even has a chance to rush in, you just give yourself 120 seconds of stillness. That's it. No emails, no social media, just you and your breath.
Now here's why this is so unbelievably powerful. When you wake up, your body naturally releases the stress hormone cortisol to get you going. But if the very first thing you do is grab your phone and see a stressful email, bam, that response goes into overdrive. This simple 2-minute pause keeps that cortisol spike in check, it activates your rest and digest system, and it sets a calm, proactive tone for the whole day.
This second hack literally takes 5 seconds, but its effects are huge. What you're doing is actively training your brain to scan the world, not for threats, but for little moments of goodness, no matter how small they seem.
See, our brains evolved with what's called a negativity bias to keep us safe from, being eaten by a tiger. It's why one little criticism can totally outweigh 10 compliments. This simple gratitude scan is like a workout for your prefrontal cortex, literally building new neural pathways that make it easier and more automatic to spot the good stuff in your life.
Okay, this next hack taps into our most fundamental wiring. We are deeply social creatures. The goal here is simple. Find one genuine thing you appreciate about another person, and then just tell them.
And here is the absolute magic of this one. Giving a compliment isn't just a gift for the other person. This simple act releases oxytocin, you've probably heard of it, the bonding hormone, in both of your brains. It is a neurological win-win that lowers stress and instantly makes you feel more connected.
I want you to completely forget the all-or-nothing mindset when it comes to exercise. Your brain doesn't need some grueling hour at the gym to feel better. Nope, it just needs you to move your body for a few minutes.
The amazing part is that just 10 minutes of movement is enough to trigger this awesome cascade of brain chemistry. You get endorphins to boost your mood, you get a little hit of dopamine for accomplishing a small goal, and you get a stabilizing dose of serotonin. It is truly one of the most efficient ways to quickly change your entire mental state.
In our world of constant distraction, our brains never, ever get a real break. This hack is about intentionally scheduling boredom. Yep, you heard that right. Put everything away and just allow your mind to wander without any input at all.
So here's what's actually happening under the hood. Your brain shifts into what scientists call the default mode network. This is the state where you connect different ideas, you process emotions, and you solve complex problems. It's exactly why your best ideas always seem to pop into your head in the shower. It's one of the few places your DMN can finally get to work.
Oh man, if you have ever laid in bed at night with your mind just racing, this next hack is for you. Think of it as creating an external hard drive for your brain. Before you go to sleep, you get everything out of your head and onto a piece of paper.
And this works because it directly counters something called the Zeigarnik effect, which is just a fancy way of saying our brain gets stuck on incomplete tasks. By writing them down, you're signaling to your brain, hey, it's captured. We can deal with this tomorrow. You're literally closing all the open mental tabs, which frees you up to actually rest.
Our final hack, while it might just be the most transformative of them all, it's about shifting the very language you use to describe yourself and your goals. Your brain has one primary job that trumps almost everything else: to act in a way that is consistent with your identity. This is why when you stop trying to do something and start being someone, you completely bypass the need for willpower. The actions just become a natural expression of who you are. Okay, let's put all of this together now. These 7 hacks aren't just some random collection of good ideas. They actually form a complete, interconnected system for managing your brain's internal state.
You see how this works? Together, they systematically target the 3 core pillars of your well-being. You have tools to manage your stress, tools to actively generate positive emotions, and tools to clarify your thinking and reinforce your new identity. It's a design for a happier brain.
And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. Stop trying to force change through sheer effort. Instead, focus on building a system of small, repeatable actions that reinforce the identity of the person you want to become. Because when your actions align with who you believe you are, change isn't a struggle, it's an inevitability. So what identity will you start building today?